Hello everyone and welcome back. So today is our first follow along video and I'm really excited to get started. It's going to be somewhat of an intro video, again, kind of a little bit shorter. As we progress in our classes, the videos will definitely get a little bit longer. But today we're going to keep it short, sweet, and simple and just get some movement in the body. So if you haven't already, go ahead and roll out your mat. Come on down, find your way to a seated position on your mat. And today we're going to be going over joint movements. So joint health is really important, and not a lot of the times do we get the joint movement that we need in our body. So we're going to go full body joint movements, starting with our hands. If you have any type of watch on, I would suggest to go ahead and take it off, just so it doesn't limit any of your range of motion. And we're going to start with our hands. So we're just going to open and close our hands. That's it. So squeeze your fingers and spread them out. Get space in between all 10. So nice and easy, just squeezing and out. Let's get about 5 more. Good. And release. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna move into our wrist. So we're just gonna do a couple of simple wrist circles in one direction. Then we're going to switch the other direction. Good. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Good. And now we're going to get some more into the wrist and do a little bit of stretching. So what I want you to do is get your hands and just flip them around so that the wrist crease are faced forward and your fingertips are back towards your body. So we're just going to do 10 just back and forth like this. So you're placing your hands down, going forward, and releasing out of it. Let's get about 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, very good. And then the last one, we're just gonna hold it. So you do not have to get your hands fully flat on the ground. It's okay if your hands are lifting up a little bit, especially if we have tightness in our wrists. If we're on the computer or typing or on a mouse or on our cell phones, we're likely to have some tightness in the wrist. So maybe you feel it there. Well, just a couple more seconds and let's release out of it. Just do a couple of wrist circles here. Good. And now we're gonna do the opposite. So we're just gonna place our hands flat onto the ground and go forward for 10. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last 3, and we're going to hold on the last one. 3, 2, and last one, just hold forward for 10 seconds. Something I forgot to mention, you all are more than welcome to put on some relaxing music or some kind of low tempo type of music if you would like. It kind of helps set the environment, helps you relax a little bit. Music is definitely a powerful tool for that. Go ahead and release out of that stretch and do a couple more wrist circles. We're going to do one last stretch for our wrist. We're going to flip the top of our hand and place it down on the mat. Same thing, we're going to go forward and back for 10, 9, 8. If you want a little bit more, you can move it away from the body. If you want less, move it closer in between the legs. Let's get 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and we're gonna hold for 10 seconds. Just putting a little bit of pressure into the tops of those hands. We're not pushing down with all our weight, just a little stretch here. Whatever suits your body. Let's get for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just kind of shake out the wrist there. So we're going to keep it going into the elbow joint. So we've done our fingers. There's joints in all of our fingers. Wrists, we've done those as well. Now we're going to move to our elbow joint. I want you to just put your hands in front of the body, palms facing up. Arms straight, and just go ahead and tap onto those shoulders, trying to keep those elbows pointed forward. We're going to do 10 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and Very good. Keep those fingertips on the shoulders here and elbows forward. And now we're going to point elbows up towards the sky and out and around, bringing them back together. Now we're moving into our shoulder joint, right? So you should feel that in your shoulders as well as your elbows. So here we go again, making those circles. Elbows come close together, out and around. Nice big circles, bring them back together. Let's do 5 this direction, nice and big, just bringing some range of motion into those shoulders. Let's get 2 more. Good, and 1 more. Make sure we're breathing, so notice if you're holding your breath. Once we get back to center, we're gonna do the opposite direction. So down and around. So first going down towards the floor and around, keeping those fingertips supported on the shoulder. Good, let's do 2 more. Back and around. And release. Very good. So maybe you feel a little bit of openness in the shoulders there, maybe in the wrists and the elbows. We're going to keep it going. We're going to move to our neck. So we're going to just do some simple neck stretches. If there's any, so in our class, if there's any type of pain, sharp shooting, tingling sensation, I want you to stop whatever you're doing and skip over that, or ask me for an alternative. I could provide an alternative, but we never want pain to be happening. Stretching may feel a little bit of a challenge or maybe a little bit of tightness, but we never want pain. So keep that in mind. So here we go. We're gonna start by just lifting up our spine. Imagine a string is on the crown of your head and it's just pulling you up towards the sky. So lifting you up just a little bit. We're gonna bring our attention to our nose. And I want you to just take your nose and draw a line over and across your right shoulder. So wherever you stop, that's good for today. Don't try to force it or go further than your body is wanting for today. Just go where it feels good. Nice little stretch. You should feel the stretch all along the opposite side, so the left-hand side of the body. Let's inhale, bring the nose back to center, and exhale over the left side. So this time, we should be feeling it in the right side of your neck. A nice, gentle stretch here. Remembering to breathe, so stay in tune with that breath. Inhale, bring the gaze back to center. Good. Now we're gonna draw some circles with the nose. So I want you to point that nose up towards the sky and down, or over towards the right rather, and then down and around, over towards the left. Just drawing these nice big circles with the nose. Good. Let's do 3 more this direction. Really taking your time here. There was no rush. Just feeling into our body, giving it some extra love today, some extra attention. Down and around, and once you make it back to the bottom, go in and reverse the direction, up and around. Doing the same thing, just drawing those circles with the nose. Nice and easy. Let's get 3 more. Last 2. And 1 more, and we'll release when we make it to the bottom. Good. Inhale as your gaze comes forward. Very good. So we're going to keep it moving. We're going to do the spine next. So I want you to come into what's called an all-fours position. So hands are underneath the shoulders. So here your shoulders, your hands should be underneath. And check out your hands. They should be nice and wide. A common mistake is to let your fingers curl and all your weight crash into your wrists. So that's going to cause some problems and probably some tension there. So try to distribute all the weight to all of your fingers. So keep them nice and wide. If it feels like there's a lot of pressure in your wrists, walk your hands a little bit further so there's not so much of a bend, okay? We're gonna have our knees underneath our hips. So check them out. So make sure you got some space in between your legs. They should be stacked right, your knees should be stacked right above the hips. And we're gonna move into what's called a cat-cow. You may have heard it before. But what we're working on is some movement, some mobility in the spine. So to start off, I want you to just drop your belly and let your tailbone pop out. So kind of like pushing your butt up towards the sky. That's gonna drop your belly a little bit and just look up just a little bit. We're not trying to look up towards the sky, just look in front of you. So you should feel this in that low back area. Okay, so you should feel a little bit of a stretch. Next, we're gonna squeeze, pretty much just squeeze our butt. So squeeze your glutes, and this is gonna create this forward tilt of the hips. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze your stomach up towards your spine, and let your head come down. So let your chin come closer to your chest. So you can see how this is pretty much the opposite of the first movement, which is the cow. So let's go ahead and inhale and drop the belly, point your tailbone, look up just a little bit. And exhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your stomach up, let your head come down. This is the cat. So cow poses here, cat poses here. So let's go ahead and move through that using our breath a few times. So starting in a neutral position, I want you to inhale, look up, point your tailbone. Exhale, chin comes to chest, tuck your tailbone under and squeeze your glutes together. Let's get two more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, under. Good, last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, under. Good, and back to a neutral spine. I want you to just kind of wiggle your tailbone around, maybe make some circles. Switch the direction. So the cat-cow is really good for mobility in that spine. Really good, especially if we're sitting at a desk, maybe we're leaning forward a little bit throughout the day. This is good to just kind of help recenter our back. So we're gonna keep it going. So we've done our fingers, our wrists, our elbows, our shoulders, our neck, our back. Now we're gonna move to our hips. And this is gonna be nice because we're gonna get to lay down. So go ahead and find yourself laying down on your mat. So just allow your head to come down. I want you to extend out your left leg, so let your heel come onto the floor. I want you to bring your right knee in towards your chest. All right? So you might be able to feel a stretch here already. That's great. This isn't gonna be the last time we do this stretch, don't worry. But next we're gonna bring movement into the hip joint. So I want you to use your right hand on your right knee and just create some nice circles here. However big or however small feels good for your body, that's great. Notice if this left hip is trying to roll over towards the right, keep it placed down onto the mat. You can even use your left hand on the hip to remind you. And go ahead and reverse the direction of those circles. Just feeling into that right hip. A lot of us have tightness in our hips. This is also caused by being seated at a desk all day, or maybe you're an athlete and you run a lot. That'll bring some tightness into the hips. Good, and release. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Right leg goes out, left knee comes in. Using your left hand, make those circles. Use your right hand to keep that right hip down. Good, nice long deep breaths. And reverse the direction. Release the legs down. So we're gonna keep it going. We've done the hips. We're gonna move into our knee joint. And all I want you to do is grab the back of your leg. You can add some assistance if it feels uncomfortable here. You can use a towel or a blanket or a strap and wrap it around the back of that leg and hold onto that strap or blanket or shirt for assistance so that you don't have to use your hands. So that's an option there. So here we are, holding the back of the leg. I just want you to bend your knee, let it come down towards your glutes, and extend the leg. Bend the knee and extend the leg. So just a couple here. Really just being aware of our body. Not too often do we slow down enough to just tune into our body. See how it's feeling today. What does it need? A couple more here. We're going to be doing a lot of that in this class, so I'm excited. And release. Go ahead and extend that leg back out. We'll switch sides, grabbing the back of the leg or wrapping assistance around. Let's keep that leg extended and bend the knee and extend. Bend the knee and extend. Good. Let's get 3 more. Just feeling into the body. Maybe one side feels a little tighter than the other. That's very common. Very rarely are both sides of our body even. So that's a common thing. Very good. And release. Awesome. So next thing that we're gonna move into is also for the hips as well as the knees. It's called a happy baby. It's kind of a funny posture, but it's fun and it works great. So I want you to kick your feet up towards the sky like you have a plate on both feet and you're trying to hold up. You have a plate of cookies and you don't want to drop those cookies, right? They're chocolate chip. So keep them up, and then I want you to grab the backs of the legs or maybe even on the outsides of the calf and try to bring your knees closer towards your armpits. If that's within reach, if this is within reach, try to grab the outsides of your ankles, okay? So make sure our hips are not lifting up towards the sky. Try to keep those hips down. Just working those knees, or excuse me, those knees into our armpits, all right? You could add a little bit of a gentle sway here. Maybe you starting to feel it a little bit in the hips. That's great. I find a little bit of the sway kind of helps alleviate some of that tension I'm feeling. Just a couple more breaths here. Remember, do not hold the breath. Good. And go ahead and bring those knees together and gently release. So we're going to keep it going. Let's go ahead and sit back up. We're almost done for today, but we want to move into our ankles, all right? So those are also joints of the body. I want you to just point. You could have your hands back behind you for support. Just point your toes and flex them back towards your nose. Just point and flex. Let's get 8 more. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. So just on one foot at a time. You could even bring your foot up if you want to lift it up off the ground. Go ahead and just make some big ankle circles. So one direction. Maybe you notice a little bit of tightness. Take your time here. How often do you do ankle circles? Very rarely, I can imagine. That's most common for everybody. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Ankle circles. But it is a great one to add into your daily practice. Good, and release. Go ahead and do the other side. Holding up, or you could keep the foot on the ground, whatever works best for you. Let's take some big circles with that left ankle. How's that ankle feeling? Good, and reverse, opposite direction, same thing. Good. Nice. Almost done. We're gonna move on to the toes. So if you have socks, take them off. That way we can see our toes. So what we want to do is just spread out our toes just like we did with our hands. We're going to do the same thing with the toes. I want you to spread them out, spread them out. Try to get space in between all 10 and release. So here we go. Let's keep it going. 9 more. Spread them out, get space in between those toes, even the pinky toe, and release. And again. And release. And we got 4. And release. 5. Good. 5 more. 5. 4. Spread them out, spread them out. 3. 2. Almost there. And last one. Hold it, stretch it. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Were you able to get space in between all 10 toes? It's kind of tougher than you would think. A lot of us are in shoes all day long, while most of us are in shoes all day long. And these shoes are constricting to our feet. So if you think about it, a shoe is usually much smaller than our foot. So it's having to be squished into a little bit of a box all day long. So it's really important to spread those toes out when you can. So that concludes our joint movements today. We're gonna finish off with some relaxation techniques. So just simple kind of a meditation. So I want you to just lie down on your back. This is known as a Shavasana in yoga. And you finish off class this way just to allow your body to kind of absorb what you just did, right? It's better than just getting up and running off to our daily tasks. It's good to just take this time to let your body soak it up. So go ahead and let your body fully extend. Adjust your position if you need to, if you feel uncomfortable. Get out any fidgeting or maybe any itch that you might have, just so you can allow your body to stay completely still for the next couple minutes. Let your feet just fall out naturally. Put your arms out on the side of the body. And I want you to close down the eyes here. So closing down the eyes, just allow that body to be still. It's kind of harder than we would think, right? All we're doing is standing still or laying still. Why is it challenging? It's because we're constantly moving in our daily life. So when we become still, it's almost uncomfortable. So work on allowing your body to be comfortable in this stillness. I want you to focus on your breath here. I want you to pick a color and put that color on your breath. Any color you want, blue, pink, yellow, maybe a rainbow or glitter. Whatever you choose, watch that color as you inhale through your nose, filling up your lungs, oxygenating your whole entire body, and exhale, watch that color as it's released. Let's do this a couple more times. So picking your color, inhale, watch that color as it comes through your nose, fills up your lungs, and moves its way into your entire body. And exhale, watch that color as it's released back into the air. Twice more, inhale, breathing in that color, into the lungs, into the full body. And exhale, release that color back into the air. Maybe doing a couple more if it feels good for you today. Good. Let's all take one long, deep inhale. And I want you to exhale through the mouth with an H-ah. So inhale, exhale. Let's do that one more time. Nice big inhale. Exhale, H-ah. Very good. So just bring movement into your body, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take your arms up overhead for a nice big stretch like you just woke up in the morning. And release. So to get up, just roll over to the side. Use your top hand to help you back up to a seated position. So great job, everyone. We are done for today. I hope you all feel a little bit more relaxed, maybe a little bit more loose in the joints. So thank you all for joining. Thank you all for following along. Do not forget to complete the review questions after watching this video. And until next time, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.